Anthropic has just released Claude Design on Friday, and we're going to have a look at it. We're going to compare it to Stitch, which is Google or Gemini's product, and I think it's going to be pretty close. But let's have a look. This is me just setting up this new design system in Claude Design, which is the brand new product we just released last week. We're essentially giving it as much as we want to create it. We've got the company name, we've got a bit about the company. It's just yourself at the moment, so we don't need to worry too much about that. But we can actually bring in stuff from, say, GitHub. You can bring in code directly from the computer. You can work straight with the Figma file, or you can even add fonts, logos, etc. that you've already got existing stuff, which is nice. And then there's a little notes section at the bottom here. So I haven't given it a lot to go with. Let's have a look and see what it comes up with. So it's told me to walk away for 5 minutes, but it's actually asked me to answer a couple of questions, right, before we go any further. So we're gonna go here. Quick questions about dancing with Debbie design system. Do you have an existing brand asset, logo, blah, 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 blah. Nothing yet, design from scratch. You can upload the logo, you can upload photos. We've got dance styles, so we can select all of those. Wedding first dance, swing, rock and roll, tango. I think he does all this stuff. Who are the main clients, right? Couples prepping for weddings, yes. Date night couples, singles wanting social confidence, other adults, retirees, competition dancers, no. Absolute beginner. And then we've got pick the visual vibe codes that fit best. So we've got warm and golden, elegant and romantic, I don't think so, bold, confident, no. Playful and fun, boutique and cozy, sophisticated ballroom, no. Exploratory options. I want to say decide. I just want to see what they come up with. What will this design system be used for? I'm going to say marketing, website, Instagram, social posts. I'm going to say flyers and print. I think that's probably all of that. And copy tone, first person. I think that's the way it should go. And which UI kit should I build? Marketing, website. Just want to see what it does. We're going to go there. We're going to go. Let's just go the website for now. Okay, and then typography direction. So this is for fonts, right? It's going to say elegant serif and clean sans, romantic script, accent and warm, all sans. I'm not sure. I'm going to say decide for me. And I'm going to hit continue. Let's see what it does. Okay, just so I'm not one-sided here, I'm going to use Google's new product, well, new-ish, we've just had a heap of updates to it, Stitch, okay, which is what they use. So I'm going to do this same thing, and we're going to pop a prompt in here and see what it can come up with as well. Literally just copied and pasted the full brief in here. To the bottom here, I've selected web, and I've gone for 3.1 Pro, and let's just see what magic it can do. All right, so Stitch is the winner so far. It's already come back with a layout. Now, look, this isn't groundbreaking stuff, okay? But in saying that, it also doesn't need to be. Okay, so we're gonna go in here. Here's about Debbie. Obviously, we're gonna swap out some information there. Private dance lessons. We've got a couple of little layout things to fix. And then we've got the contact page. And honestly, like off the bat, that's not terrible. Let's see what Claude can do. Okay, so this is a bit different from how Stitch does it. So we've got a couple of reviews that it's asking for clarification, right? So how the shadows works, it's asked about spacing, and you can kind of have this little toggle up the top here where you can say, yep, looks good, or is average, right? Now how the buttons are gonna look and how they're gonna work. So it's doing a lot more than what Stitch is. It's even given us our first look at the Instagram post templates. So interesting. Obviously these can then go over to Canva to add the content and update. So how this is actually working from the background perspective is it's not creating design files as you typically create one. So you'd have layers and a system of layers and work like that. It's actually doing it in code. So as it pushes it over to Canva or you export it out, you can take what it's been designed and that's what enables them to work it with all the layers. It's pretty cool. The thing that is going to be really interesting to see how this pans out is how quickly it choose through design tokens. So you can see here, it's actually got its own limit here. So we've got our other models there, but you can see here, this resets in a week's time at 3 p.m. I've done one prompt with it. We're just gonna refresh that. We are already 27% used. Whoa. This is obviously pretty early days for this system as it's only just come out. What I've read and digested over the last few days about how Claude is changing its token system is going to be interesting. They seem to be the only company that are being pretty honest with the costs of things and charging probably pretty fairly for what it's actually doing on their servers. Google obviously has heaps of compute availability. So while they're not offering something that's probably as polished as what Claude Design is, if you're just trying to get something out there, I probably wouldn't want to be spending a lot of money on Claude Design right now, knowing that I could get to the same spot really quickly and for free with what Gemini offers. Interesting. So now that I've done the initial design system setup, now I've got to actually go ahead and create the content that I want to do. So let's have a look at that. So I'm back to a similar screen where I was before. What I'm going to do is copy all the content that I put into Stitch. So it's going to be the same thing. And we just need to give it a prompt there as well. So I'm going to ask it to design a website based on this. It's all done. And we have used 48%, so half of our tokens in one go, just to create our design system and our website. Now, it's very AI looking, so I'm not that amazed, but that's okay if they can get that tokenization issue sorted. Now, what we can do in here, once we're in here, just to show you, there's a little tweak button up here. So we can hit tweak, and it will actually create the adjustments that you want. That's pretty cool. I mean, it's over the top, but it's pretty cool. But you can actually say, hey, add a, here's the example, add slider for border radius, color picker for accent. So it's created the design for us here, but it then gives the ability for you to go in there and create toggles, kind of like a page builder, all in the system. There's also a comments thing here, so we can hover over certain things and make comments. This can be larger, or this could be, change the image here, adjust the font, etc., etc. So that's pretty cool how that works. There's an edit button. So if we hit that, we can actually click directly onto these areas. So we can just change the text exactly how we need to. So that's pretty cool. And there is finally a draw button. Okay, so if you've ever wanted to do that, this is the most annoying thing on the planet, but some people like it. You can go private, that one, and then we type something down here to add a note to it. Okay. Look, this is obviously early days for this sort of tech, and who this is for, it's for someone that maybe is starting a business that doesn't want to have to pay for a lot of extra help to get things going. So you may have designed your logo in Canva, and you now want to lean on, say, Claude Design to do some of your website or do the website. This can then be pushed out to Claude Code and it can be updated. If you don't know what you're doing, I can see how this could be really frustrating. But if you are just starting and you're learning, it's really a good way to learn and to play around with. Definitely have a go of it. The Stitch output, I thought, was a little bit better, but we gave both of these products nothing really to go on. So I think it's going to be interesting to see how what this turns into. The token usage is a bit concerning, because I feel that heavy reliance on AI for stuff that you could probably just do before, that's going to cost quite a bit, and we're probably going to have to find some middle ground somewhere. Anyway, interesting stuff. It's scary and exciting to watch this stuff evolve.